What if the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth wasn't partitioned? This video was made to celebrate the Polish 3rd May Constitution Day. So let's start off with some historical context. In the late 16th and early 17th century, the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth was the dominant power in Eastern Europe, defeating most of its neighbors. Polish kings even held the thrones of Russia and Sweden for a short while, and even occupied Moscow for a few years. Now, the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth had a unique government system for its time. The Polish kings were chosen by the nobility and had a lot less power than in other kingdoms. Polish kings couldn't really do anything without the Sejm and the Senate. However, Poland was quickly pushed off its high pedestal. It was ravaged several times, most notably during the Deluge and the Great Northern War. And the government really didn't help either. Other states quickly took advantage of this and started bribing the nobility, since you only need one person to veto the reform for it not to pass. And just like that, the Commonwealth grew weaker, while its enemies grew stronger. The Commonwealth more or less became a vassal of Russia, with them playing as kingmakers. The final king of the Commonwealth was Stanislaw August Poniatowski, a lover of Catherine the Great. And while Poland did slowly start to reform under his rule, it also led to more Russian influence over the state. This culminated in the uprising of the Bar Confederacy in 1768. It took 4 years to crush and resulted in a war between Russia and the Ottomans. Russia performed extremely well, which frightened the Austrians, who are looking like they were going to join the Ottomans. Frederick the Great of Prussia, not wanting such a war to break out, proposed the partitions of Poland. Russia and Prussia agreed and took large swathes of the Commonwealth. 20 years later, on the 3rd of May 1791, Poland passed a constitution, in a desperate attempt to reform the state. However, Russia attacked Poland over this new constitution, and the king quickly surrendered, which resulted in the second partition of Poland, where Russia and Prussia took even more land. 3 years later, Tadeusz Kościuszko rebelled against the king and took over Poland, only for Russia, Prussia, and Austria to defeat him and partition the Commonwealth for a final time. Poland wouldn't be on the map again for 123 years, aside from during the Napoleonic Wars. Now let's get into this scenario. The first thing we need to change will be the 7 Years' War. During the war, Prussia was nearly destroyed by its neighbors. However, the Empress of Russia, Elizabeth, died, and the new emperor, Peter III, was a huge fan of Frederick the Great and offered him a white peace. In this timeline, Prussia will be destroyed, possibly by Elizabeth living a bit longer. Prussia will lose Silesia to Austria, East Prussia to Russia, and some of Pomerania to Sweden. Then Russia will exchange East Prussia for Courland with Poland. Peter I still becomes emperor, is deposed by Catherine the Great, and Catherine still instates Stanislaw August Poniatowski as the king in Poland. This is where the true divergence begins. The Bar Confederacy still erupts, and the war with the Ottomans still breaks out. However, during the war, Poland sends some forces to aid Russia. This is because in this timeline it's very possible for Russia and Poland to sign an alliance. Just like the planned Northern Accord of Russian Foreign Minister Nikita Panin. It argued for an alliance between Poland, Russia, Great Britain, Sweden, and Prussia, which doesn't exist in this timeline, against Austria and France. In this timeline, it's possible for a smaller version of the alliance between Poland, Russia, and Sweden, which regained parts of Pomerania thanks to Russian help in the 7 Years' War. Now as goes for the war with the Ottomans, without Prussian mediation, Austria would join the war. The main fighting would go on in Moldavia, and maybe some border clashes between Austria and Poland. The war would end with Poland getting parts of Moldavia, Russia getting Crimea, a Polish-Russian condominium over Moldavia, and Austria would get a sphere over Wallachia as a compromise. Now let's fast forward to the death of Catherine the Great. After the rule of Catherine the Great, her less competent son, Paul I will take the throne of Russia. This will be seen as an opportunity by Stanislav August Poniatowski in Poland, and taking advantage of it, he would push forward a constitution in Poland, somewhat inspired by the French Revolution. Now the scenario will split into two paths, one where Poland helps Napoleon, another where Poland joins the coalition. By this time, Stanislav Poniatowski will die in Poland and be replaced with Frederick Augustus I, the Elector of Saxony. Now, in this timeline, France will expand even faster without Prussia to threaten them and Russia being further away. However, Napoleon might still view Russia as a rival, threatening his control over the continent. Now for the scenario where Poland joins France. France will force Austria into alliance a lot sooner, and soon after Sweden will still be taken over by Marshal Bernadotte. This will culminate in an earlier invasion of Russia, and with all its neighbors against it, as well as an easier supply line thanks to the Commonwealth allowing a march on Moscow, Russia would be crippled but not destroyed. This will make Napoleon's control of the continent basically guaranteed. As goes for the timeline where Poland joins the coalition, Napoleon would eventually be defeated, and Poland will be one of the architects of the concert of Europe. And stay tuned because I'm planning to make a continuation of the scenario very soon. And if you enjoyed, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Suggest some scenarios which I should do next. Thank you, and goodbye.